what I've done is I've taken one of those, it's just a 6x6 card blank, right? So it just opens regularly to the side. It really bothers me that you're on a bit of a skew width angle here. Should I get us all straightened up? There you go. It's because how Bernie's been in, we're all messed up. There, we're not skew widthy anymore, folks. So that opens up like your regular card, but can you see I've scored bottom left to top right, right across the middle. So that is going to give us like a twisted easel. So if you look at that from the front, guys, what you're going to do is I'll just let you have a little look from the front. When we then lift this up, you end up with a stopper there. If you wanted to make a whole twisted easel, you'd put another square of card on the front. I'm actually going to use this just with that side panel twisted. So that's going to be the shape of card that we're going to do, and it will go nice and flat to go in our envelope, okay? Now, in terms of the decoration, look what I've done, Jo, is I've taken a piece of just the coloured cardstock. The cardstock itself is brilliant quality. So I'm just taking a little bit of the coloured cardstock. Oh, you're right at the end here, pretty much, aren't you? Might just get this project out of it. So I'm going to get the pink cardstock in there first, and then use a little bit of the white to do a little bit of matting and layering on the front. And it gives us this really nice kind of like depth coming into it.
Really makes it pop, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? And then this piece on here, Jo, what I've done is I've got a piece of the green card. Now what I love is I really like doing bright colours, but I find that when I use bright colours in my card making, they can clash if you don't have the right colours working together. So this will give you all of the right colours, all working perfectly, and it just kind of takes all the thinking out of it. So I've got this one here. Now look what I've done now. I've taken this cardstock here, cut it on the angle, but then before I got rid of it, I've cut 2 strips, so that what you end up with is 2 strips cut of the cardstock on that angle, so that it looks like it's going diagonal. So I've cut to here, so we'll keep them and use them next, but I wanted to show you how we use these on the next kind of panel as it was. So this is going to go onto the front there.
I love how even I think an absolute beginner could lay all these papers out and just see what goes with what and what was meant to work together.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, the composition and the colour combination, especially when they start crafting Sarah, can be half the battle, can't it?
It is. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first started, I really struggled with knowing what went with what. And you know what? It's the sort of thing I was embarrassed to ask people about. So it's not something I would ever like ask for help with. And I just think that's why I do my signature collections a lot, because a lot of people, they need that help and support doing this. Now watch this, I'm going to go straight down there with that, Jo, and I'm going to take this off, so off the bottom. So let's just get this, where's them lovely scissors that were the biggest scissors in the world? That'll teach me to pinch Craig's, won't it? There we go. So if we cut that nice and straight, I'm going to put like a strip up here, and what I want you to do is borrow this idea, all right, and you take this concept but use it with your own papers and your own styles or whatever, because the layout of this card is a brilliant one for you kind of to use as a bit of an idea, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing there, and then I'm going to just use my tape pen right down here, so I'm going right to the ends, so I've got plenty of tape on, doing it onto my glass mat so that I can clean that up again. And then look how fabulous, because it's all the same colours there. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it a little bit to get those equidistant. Oh, look, I haven't quite got that to the top. Nobody's going to notice that little bit, are they? No, they are, Jo. I'm going to cut it perfectly. And I'm going to piece that little tiny piece in there so that my card is perfect by the end of it. So that is going to give us that kind of like base to work from on the bottom there. So there's our start point. And then of course every easel card needs a stopper, because you can see it's going to fall down where we want. So what I've done is I've done my stopper. This calls for a birthday celebration, and this one here I'm going to just raise up a little bit. Let's have a look. Just need another. I'm just using my glue gun for speed here, folks. If you wonder why, sometimes I use my glue gun and then other times I don't, and I use.
What would you be using if you were crafting this at home?
Bit of 3D glue gel.
Okay.
To give it a bit of time to dry. So I'm going to pop this down here. I want this to kind of stop around about there. So I'm going to pop that on there, so that that can now be drying and setting in place, right? So there's the base card ready to go. So now we can move on to the decoration. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of these balloons. So if you weren't watching at the beginning part of the demonstration, you won't have seen me kind of walk you through how to do the base balloon. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the balloon. Then you've got all these extra parts here. So can you see you've got the balloon, you've got the kind of interchangeable bits in the middle. I'm going to start off first of all with just a piece of plain card and cut out the base balloon here, Jo.
Janelle saying how much she loves the sub boxes. She's got all of the boxes from day one and has never been disappointed once, which I think is awesome. Jean
do you know the only time I hear people are disappointed? It's the times that people are in the subscription and they look ahead to what's coming next month and think, oh, I don't think that's my cup of tea. I don't really do stencil and I won't try that. Or I'm not really big into embossing, I won't do that one. And then they cancel that month's subscription and then they see everybody else in the group doing it and then they kick themselves and think, do you know what, for the sake of 25 quid, I could have been doing that, and now I'll never get that chance at that box again.
Pat saying, I've ordered the craft kit. I don't have them all, but I have a lot of them. The great thing is that you don't need to have them all in order to use them. They all work independently and are standalone. You could buy every single one of them, or you could just buy one of them. It doesn't matter. You are still going to get something absolutely fabulous inside every one of those boxes.
Isn't that lovely? I've just picked a couple of different ones here, Jo, and I'm just kind of going to go for it and see if I can just be a little bit sly and quick and do 3 all at once.
3?
So yeah, well, it's the Gemini Mini. Let's give it a go. See how it gets on. So worst case scenario, it won't cut 3 at once, but I'll have saved myself about all of 8 seconds giving it a go. So what I've got to remember, it's so speedy anyway, right? So there we go. Oh, I tell you what, the Gemini Mini laughs in the face of doing 3 layers at once.
Fabulous.
Laughs in the face. Right. Here's what we're going to do then, right? So this is now, we've got this card's kind of ready. This I can lift up at the corner, which gives it that standing point there. So that's now going to kind of act as that stopper. And then watch what I'm going to do. I'll do it back to front so that you can watch from the front, okay? I've got a little strip of acetate, right? And I'm going to cut myself some little pieces from this. Because what I want to do is I've got a couple of different balloons. Oh, I hadn't done this one. I've got one that I cut in orange and I've stamped party onto as well. So I'm just going to go behind that one and I'm going to stick that little bit. So this is now on a little bit of a spring.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to stick this one here. Well,
These
I
would
thought
work
we'd go
great with your
advance.
pop-up boxes, wouldn't they? So.
They would be fabulous with your pop-up boxes, Jo. Absolutely amazing, right? So I've got a couple of these on here, right? So I've got a couple of them, and then I've also got my nice birthday wishes one, and I've got a couple of these other plain ones. So what I'm going to do is onto here. Let's start off now. I will pop this flat because what I want to do is make sure that when we put this, if I was to put this right up here, right, this is going to be outside of the envelope. So I need to make sure that they come just around about here so that they're not coming outside of where the envelope piece is. Does that make sense? Yep.
Absolutely.
So if I put it there, it would be outside the envelope. Here is not outside the envelope. So
absolutely. Great for younger members of the family, these, aren't they, Sarah?
Oh, they would, honestly, my boys are going to love playing with this. I'll be really honest, I haven't let them, because I had to get the ones ready for the show, I couldn't let them have it before the show. But now we've done the show, I could absolutely let them have a little bit of a go. So let's have a look at this. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple of these on the bottom here, just to finish this off. Again, I'm kind of going nice and simple. I'm just doing it with my what do you call this? Glue gun. Glue gun, just for speed. So I'm going to get a couple of these laid up on here. I just think it really finishes this off quite nicely, doesn't it?
It is gorgeous, really, really lovely. So much you can do with them. Think about all the little concepts you can do. I like that you can do smaller cards. Seems to be a lot of trends towards some smaller cards at the moment. So I seem to be seeing a lot of, DL cards and smaller 4x4 style cards in supermarkets and shops at the moment. So absolutely, if you want to follow that trend, you can. Because of the size of the stamps, or the stamps and the dies, they'll fit beautifully with other collections as well. Think about cross-pollinating with things like your staycation stamps and dies, or any of your... how about putting these on those milk carton boxes that we did? Again, they would work there.
Lovely.
They would work in our pop-up boxes. So many different things you're going to be able to do with these. Yes, think about creating those 24 cards that you're going to with everything in here. Think about how you're going to extend it and do even more. That is gorgeous, Sarah.
Isn't it great? And it's just a little bit fun. It's just a little bit different in there, and I just think they look absolutely brilliant kind of when you use them. I'm going to go one tiny last little bit on here. I could honestly keep playing at this all afternoon. They just, and then you've got even just having like the little bits of ribbon to finish them off like that. I just think look brilliant.
Yeah,
how easy was
gorgeous.
that once you knew how to do it? And again, because of the way we've structured it and made it, that is going to go flat to go in the envelope.